A warm welcome to Diski Talk with Liolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you've been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's episode, I discuss all things Kaizer Chiefs as I have a tactical feature focus on Sibongiseni Mthethwa, also known as Ox. So when you have a look at it today, then we are going to have a look at Ox, as he does play then as a defensive midfielder for Kaizer Chiefs. So we do know that he was signed at the end of the transfer window from Stellenbosch, where then he was a very, very important part of that Stellenbosch side, very key player for them, and also then towards the end of his time at Stellenbosch, then he was also one of their captains, so he was the vice captain at Stellenbosch and would sometimes then wear that armband. So when you have a look at it then, Ox then is a traditional defensive midfielder, which is something that Kaizer Chiefs have lacked in recent years. So we do know that they did sign Castillo, and Castillo came in and he was then playing alongside Yusuf Mart within a 4-2-3-1. But what we did see with Castillo then is that he is a player then who does like to venture forward. So in relation then to playing as a defensive midfielder and a traditional six who just sits in front of his back four, Castillo then lacks that tactical discipline, because this is a player then who is better suited with regards to then playing more as a box-to-box player, who then is looking then to occupy advanced pockets of space whenever Kaizer Chiefs have worked the ball from second phase into the final third. A player then who also does look to break into the box late with regards to his runs, and he has also scored from those situations. But now when you have a look at it then, they have added Mthethwa. So what does Mthethwa bring then to this Kaizer Chiefs side? So firstly then, this then does allow a player like Castillo then to have a bit more freedom with regards to how he's looking to play, because then you now have a more traditional six who then will sit in front of his back four and will protect his back four. And when you do have a look at Ox and with what he has within his skill set, so firstly then this is a player then who's got very good tactical discipline with regards to his positioning and his awareness on the field, and how then he is able to position himself adequately. His anticipation as a six then is very good, how then he does look to intercept, and how then he does also look to break down opposition attacks. A player then who is also very comfortable on the ball with regards to being able to offer Kaizer Chiefs that first receiver within the first phase with regards to how then they'll be looking to build up. So first receiver from midfield. So if they are looking to build up from deep, then Ox would be looking to drop in. Sometimes what you would see from Ox is that he does drop in between his two center backs and then facilitate that situational back three, which then would allow the two fullbacks to push up, because then you have somewhat of that picture. So Ox does offer you that even in second phase within the final third as well. Player who's very comfortable, reads the game very well, and a player then who can play those progressive passes from deep. But that is an area that I would say that he would need to improve in and become a lot better. I would say then the weight of pass and the pass selection with regards to how then he's looking to progress the ball. Sometimes be it those diagonal passes, sometimes be it those penetrative passes where he's looking to break the lines. Those are areas where I do think that he can become a lot better, and areas then that I think the more advanced and more creative players from Kaizer Chiefs would benefit in. But he is then a very good player for this Kaizer Chiefs side, very good defensive midfielder, a player then who is comfortable on the ball but can improve that pass selection and that decision making with regards then to how then he looks to progress the ball. But overall, I do think that this is going to become a very key player for this Kaizer Chiefs side, especially what he offers them within the heart of midfield, the solidity, the ability then to protect his back four and ensure then that he can free up some of those creative players then within this Kaizer Chiefs side. It is still early days for Ox with regards to his time at Kaizer Chiefs. However, at home, do let me know, what have you made of Ox so far, and what type of player do you think then he can go on to become for this Kaizer Chiefs side? Because I also do see a leader in him, and I do see a potential future captain for this Kaizer Chiefs side, which I think is a very good thing, especially considering then that you also do have Ditlogwe there, you also have Simango there. So when you do have a look at Kaizer Chiefs then from a defensive perspective and what what then their defensive players offer them with regards to being able to lead. They do have good players there, which can bode very well for Kaizer Chiefs going forward. And overall then, that is then a tactical feature focus on Ox Mthethwa, who I think then was a very, very important signing and a much needed signing for this Kaizer Chiefs side. As much as they do have numerous midfielders, they just didn't have a player then who then has his skill set and a player then of his quality and caliber then deep within the heart of midfield. However, at home, do let me know, what do you make of this episode? What do you make of Ox? And going forward then, where do you think Kaizer Chiefs need to improve? Also then, a player then who could benefit a lot then with regards to this and build a very good relationship with Ox within the heart of midfield could be two players. So firstly, it could be Edson Castillo, because then he can play more as advanced, and then whichever player then is able then to ensure that they can find form as a 10, because then when you do have Ox within the heart of midfield and he's playing at his best, you've got Castillo playing at his best. This then does allow Kaizer Chiefs then to play then with a third player within the heart of midfield who is much more progressive, much more advanced with regards to how they look to impose themselves, how they play, and how creative they are. So when you've got these two, then you don't need another 8 or another center mid, but it does then allow you then to play with an out-and-out 10, or they could even try then play with a second striker, because then you've got these two players then who are very good then within the heart of midfield, and with the both of them then with regards to first phase and second phase, with and without the ball, then they offer Kaizer Chiefs a lot and tick so many boxes, especially considering then that the ground that they would be able to cover as a pair, and how then they would be able to offer that solidity within the heart of midfield, that could only bode well for whichever player then who is able then to find that form and fitness, especially as a 10, because we do know that Kaizer Chiefs have really been struggling then within this position with regards to them finding then a 10 and a playmaker who can consistently deliver. We do know that there is Mshini, there is Doom Tanzane, you've got Shabalala as well. We have seen Keegan Dolly come back, so he can play as a 10, but I do think that he is better suited coming off the right hand side as an inverted winger, where then he does look to start off the right hand side and then drift in, but he can also play as a 10 as well. So Kaizer Chiefs have so many options then within that creative department, and the sooner then one of those players then can stamp their authority and ensure then that they can make that place theirs, it will bode very well for this Kaizer Chiefs side, especially considering now that they've got a traditional 6 who I think is very good as a specialist. They've got Castillo then, who is an 8, who has a lot of quality and adds a lot of value. Now then they need that creative midfielder, which would complete the midfield for Kaizer Chiefs and make them a much better side. Thank you very much for tuning in to yet another special episode of Diski Talk with Leon. Signing out.